Hey gut feeler friend, IBS and low FODMAP often becomes a dead end because it's meant to be temporary, just a short time, an elimination diet. And I'm not going to lie to you, it can short term silence your symptoms, but long term, because it doesn't address the root cause, it actually creates more trouble for your gut and your nervous system. If you've tried low FODMAP and it didn't work for you, you're not alone. I just had a client yesterday who was on low FODMAP for 4 years. She did follow the protocol, did everything right, but her symptoms just came back stronger and stronger, and she restricted herself more and then became fearful of reintroducing new foods because the symptoms just got worse. If you relate to that, please know that you have not failed. It's not that your gut is too sensitive. It just means that the approach of FODMAP itself has its limits. This is what I call the IBS trap, and that's what this video is about. Also going to share with you what you can do instead, and you understand what happens there in your gut and why, despite eliminating all the fermentation producing foods, you're not getting rid of your gut symptoms long term. If that sounds like a good plan, don't be shy to hit that like button under the video so I know this type of content interests you and I will make more of it for you. Now, I want to be really clear. I don't want to trash the low FODMAP diet. I want to help you understand and what the logic behind is and why it's actually flawed in its design. Now, what does the low FODMAP diet actually do well? The core logic is that if carbohydrates ferment, they create a gas. Gas production plus a sensitive gut, you get IBS symptoms and pain. The thinking of low FODMAP is we take away those carbs, so there is less fermentation in the gut, less symptoms, so the person should be fine. The low FODMAP diet was designed for a short-term elimination diet, followed by a careful reintroduction of the foods. But in reality, and this is what I saw with my client from Manchester just yesterday, most people stay on the low FODMAP diet for years because the symptoms when you reintroduce foods are just unbearable. So how to get out of this cycle? And most people are not told that IBS actually has a real physical cause that needs addressing. So the low FODMAP diet is really a symptom management strategy. It's not a gut healing plan. Symptom relief doesn't equal healing. Very, very important and so often not acknowledged. Of course, you have symptoms and then they go away like, oh, well, this is working. But there are huge consequences when it comes to low FODMAP diet, and is what I want to address here for you so you can get a better picture of what this is about. Now, the reason why I'm making this video and why I call it the IBS trap is because when I see clients doing the low FODMAP diet, the trap is they do feel better because the fermentation goes down in the gut. That's a given fact. Then they restrict more to stay safe and not have the pain and the gas and the discomfort come back. So the food list goes smaller and smaller and smaller because they can tolerate less and less and less. Then the fear goes up. And then the symptoms come actually back despite all the healthy and eliminated eating, and it comes back stronger. So there is this vicious cycle of what should I eat because my gut is sensitive to everything. Let me know in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about, if you relate to this, or maybe you're no, completely different. I'm interested in hearing your view on the topic. Now, why is it that after the elimination diet, the symptoms come back stronger? First, this diet, the low FODMAP diet, actually removes key gut healing foods. This leads to your microbiome losing its diversity. It just feeds certain type of bacteria and other bacteria doesn't get fed at all. The digestive system becomes more reactive to all kinds of food and not stronger. And then there is the nervous system part where the stress of can I eat this, can I not eat this, the restriction, this hypervigilance of is this food good for me? Is this food good for me? Why am I reacting now? Which also contributes to IBS and your body staying in this fight and flight mode. Now, where low FODMAP diet, from my point of view, goes totally wrong is that it treats the fermentation as the problem. This is the enemy. This is what we need to eliminate. So it's just to take away the carbs. It prioritizes less gas, less bloating, less symptoms, instead of actually focusing on microbiome diversity, focusing on fibers, on long-term healing, on gut resilience. So the key issue is treating fermentation as the real enemy, while it is about dysregulated fermentation with an underlying root cause. The fermentation is the tip of the iceberg, but under there are often pathogens, resistant strains of Streptococcus bacteria, for example, a weakened liver, which doesn't produce enough bile, so food starts to putrefy in the gut, which leads to gas, ammonia, toxin overload, heavy metals, medication residues, a sluggish gut, not enough healthy gut motility, an impaired gut lining. And those fermentable foods that the low FODMAP diet wants to eliminate, they actually reveal the problem, but they're not causing it. The reason why I see low FODMAP as such a problem is because the clients getting better in the beginning, because the fermentation slows down, so the symptoms go away, or at least reduced for a while, but the underlying imbalance and the causes, they get actually worse. And one of the reasons why they get worse is because of the foods that are included in the FODMAP diet and foods that are excluded that are actually healing foods. For example, celery juice, major game changer when it comes to relaxing the nervous system, supporting the gut, helping with healthy stomach acid, helping the liver to produce more bile so the food doesn't putrefy in the gut. Very restricted in low FODMAP. And on the opposite side, pathogen feeders like eggs, corn products, refined starches, like gluten-free pasta, dairy products, pork, heavy fat, heavy protein, that is very hard to be digested for a weakened digestive system, and in general those are favored. So of course then you go and eat more of those while actually making what is under the iceberg worse long term. This is the reason why those symptoms come back, and they don't just come back, but it's actually worse than before. If you watched until now and you're like, yeah, well, Peggy, if the low FODMAP diet is not the right thing and I still have the symptoms, they're even worse than before, what else? My gut is too sensitive, I can't eat anything. What I recommend to clients is the first thing to start with is nervous system safety. Noticing when you're in fight and flight mode. What works better than low FODMAP, from my experience, is instead of focusing on eliminating, it's about gently working with the body, seeing what works, what doesn't, offering healing foods, and even if it's just a few healing foods that are okay right now, focusing on these, so you get your microbiome some nourishment and you actually feed the healthy gut bacteria. Also reducing fear around food, that, oh my God, if I eat this now, this is going to make everything worse and I need to start from zero. It's not about making it perfect, right? Your body doesn't need you to be perfect, but instead focusing on consistency. Whatever you do gentle shifts. Don't shift your whole life upside down on one day. Gentle shifts, a few small things done over a longer period of time that actually address those root causes, what's under the iceberg: pathogens, toxins, stress, medication residues, low gut motility, overburdened liver, addressing those things, but like gently, just step by step, because healing doesn't come from forcing the body in one direction, but instead of supporting the body so it can heal itself. If you'd like some help with that, I'll link that up for you here, the 1-week gut healing challenge, which is a good starting point, especially if you come from low FODMAP, and you can implement the whole challenge in 1 week, or just take out a few things and incorporate them over a longer period of time. If that interests you, 1-week gut healing challenge up here, and here's a related video that you can watch next.